Marcin and Brenda are nominated for eviction, but what will this weekend's Golden Power Veto competition entail? Find out now on Big Brother Cheesecake for Office Wars. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake for Office Wars. It's day 33 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Ryan is the head of household. He nominated Brenda and Marcin for eviction, but the Golden Power Veto can still change the nominations. Who will win it? You'll find out tomorrow. And what will the Golden Power Veto competition be? We'll find out shortly. But first, the Reality Realness crew, Chantel, Jonathan, and JoJo posted their week 4 episode yesterday, and once again they did a fantastic job. And as mentioned by Chantel, I fell into the trap of the slippery slope where I watched it on my couch on my TV because I thought may as well take advantage of that Bell 5 whatever where I can watch it on TV. And I was texting Chantel during it and a couple other people, and I forgot to take notes. And but I remembered a few of the highlights, which I'm going to address in a moment. It's such a slippery slope to just sit there and then next thing you know, hours and hours are gone. But it was a great episode, hour and a half, lots of content. I encourage everybody to watch it. So the first thing was JoJo said that he won 5 HOHs and 3 power vetoes on his season. And I'm like, bitch, no. Because that would mean his total of comp wins was 8, and I know that nobody has 8 because Jeffrey, the winner of season 1, had 2 HOH wins and 6 power veto wins for a total of 8, and that's the record. So I knew that wasn't the case. So I looked it up. JoJo has, mind you, JoJo's in second place, 4 HOHs and 2 power vetoes. So we inflated each one by 1 for a total of 6. Then Jonathan posted, I won 15, but I didn't want to gloat as a joke. Jonathan had 1 HOH and 3 vetoes for a total of 4. Which is if there's a tie, so a lot of people had 4. Jonathan's actually the lowest of the 4 list because if there's a tie, HOHs count as sort of the gold medal, if you will, so they have more weight, and Jonathan only had 1. So like the people who had 4, you had Alvin 3 and 1, Debbie 3 and 1, Ashley 2 and 2, Julian 1 and 3, but Julian lasted a week longer so Jonathan was 1 and 3. After that. But anyway, and Chantel, of course, just had 1 HOH win and 0 power vetoes, but Chantel didn't even need that 1 HOH win because she was the queen all along. Oh, Megan and the trifle. So, obviously none of the 3 of them are fans of Friends. Megan, there's an episode of Friends where Rachel accidentally makes half a traditional English trifle and half a shepherd's pie. And so that trifle that she made, it had everything I said. The ladyfingers, jam, custard, which I made from scratch, whipped cream, bananas, there's a couple more of those layers, and beef sauteed with peas and onions. So for Thanksgiving last year, Megan made that trifle, and everybody else hated it. I actually thought it was good, but I'll eat anything. The one mistake she made was she put rosemary in the beef. If you're making a shepherd's pie or anything with beef, rosemary is a great ingredient because it brings out the savoriness of the beef itself. But the problem is when you're purposely making a dish that combines meat, a hot meat dish with dessert, the rosemary really overpowered not just the beef, but overpowered everything. So even the custard and jam had rosemary in it. Or the taste, it was in my mouth. So I think it would have been better to leave the rosemary out, and then the beef would have not been so pungent, and I actually would have enjoyed it even more. But I loved it. The whole point of it was not for it to be good. The whole point was that everybody would get to reference that Friends moment. So Lynn, I want to clarify on Lynn, because it wasn't crystal clear in the video. Lynn did message me at 8 p.m. sharp that she's not using the fast forward. Then at 8:04, according to my computer, I can't remember what I was doing Thursday night. Was I at work? Yeah, it's not going to come to me. Yeah, I was at work, so I guess I was available. I don't know. But according to Facebook, she messaged me at 8:04, asking to change her mind, and that's when I went to Curtis and asked. And it's interesting that she had an alliance with Curtis and Ryan. That one I didn't know of, and that she felt betrayed by Curtis and Ryan, the big meanies of the house. Just kidding. Which is, I guess, why she didn't use it in the first place, that she felt safe with Curtis being in charge. So I guess that's why she said no, and then she had that gut feeling change. If she hadn't messaged me at 8, and at 8:04 she said, I want to use it, I probably would have let her use it, because 4 minutes is not that big of a deal. But because at 8 she said I'm not, and then I told Curtis she's not, so Curtis already started making his plans, I couldn't reverse it. Normally I'll give, 5 minutes here and there, if it's reasonable, 5 to 10 minutes. If it happens, so be it. So it was just a shitty situation for Lynn. But anyway, she did provide a lot of insight, which I enjoyed. The counting for the competition for the quinoa, my plan, and I did count everything else last season, including the grains of rice, and I counted the peas this season. My plan was to count out the couscous. I got to 50,000 at like 4 a.m., and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So what I did was I took another cup, put the exact same amount into that cup, put them side by side, made absolutely sure, like put them to the light so I could see within that they were equal, and then 50,000 became 100,000, did it again, 150,000, and then I counted the extra, I think it was 5,200. So I kind of counted it, but the things I do for you people. Okay, and last but not least, Scrabble. I said that Scrabble would be retired. You know what, I thought about it, and I thought of different variations of ways to do it, and obviously this version is not coming back, but I do think Scrabble will make a return in a future season, so don't count it out. I believe that's all for Reality Realness. Yeah. So, it's time to get to... I feel like I'm forgetting something, but oh well. It's time to get to the rules for the Golden Power Veto competition. Brenda, only 6 house guests will participate. Ryan, the head of household, Brenda, and Marcin, the 2 nominees, and 3 players selected in a random draw, which were Lindsay and Brandon, as you all saw yesterday. And that was not some people messaged me, did you plan that? Nope. The wheel landed on that. And the wheel had 2 Lindsay, everybody had their name on twice, because there's 24 wedges. And it did not land on the same Brandon both times. And it alternated between Brandon and Lindsay. So it wasn't like my spin was the exact same strength. It was just dumb luck that happened. Cumulative probabilities. Yeah. And the voices... That was the thing I wanted to mention for Reality Realist. The voices, Brandon is supposed to be Stanley Hudson. And I guess I may as well say it now, because I don't think they would have guessed it by now. Ryan is Saul from Grace and Frankie, played by Sam Waterston. I'm Saul. I'm in love with my husband, Robert. And I have a son, Coyote, who's really, really hot. And I also know my ex-wife, Frankie. She has a friend named Grace. That's who that is. But if you don't watch Grace and Frankie, then I guess, you wouldn't see that. But anyway. Yeah. So, playing in the Golden Power Veto competition, Ryan, Brenda, Marcin, Lindsay, Brandon, and a house guest selected by Marcin, who selected Ashley. Oh, that's... Sorry, rewind again. So there was a message... Chantel, Jojo, and Jonathan had the twist music come on, and they revealed that there was a clue in the Scrabble competition to the identity of the mole, and that at least one house guest figured it out. Now, I was actually planning on talking about this today anyway, because Chantel, she said, watch the video to make sure it's okay, and it was, because I was planning on talking about this anyway. The Reality Realness crew knows who the mole is. Because that house guest solved sort of the clue last week, they know who the mole is, and... something that was predetermined prior to the start of the season was that if the mole first of all, I didn't expect the mole to be in this position. And when we get to the reveal of the mole, there's a lot I want to talk about regarding that, because this twist didn't end up panning out the way I did, and one house guest is at fault for that, and you know who you are. But it was predetermined prior to the start of the season that if the mole failed after week 4 to get evicted, that he or she could tell the head of household, and only the head of household, that they were the mole, and then the head of household could decide what method of action to take. So I can reveal that the mole, since at this point the majority of the house guests know who it is, I'm still not going to say it for the viewers, but the majority of you know who it is. The mole did tell the head of household their identity. Of course, the head of household, who can't keep a secret, Rai, told, I think, almost the entire house. And then the mole messaged me saying, I didn't expect him to tell this person and that person and that person and that person. But anyway, it's okay. It's totally up to you. The mole said, listen, I know you want Brandon out, because it's no secret Ryan and Brandon want each other out. So if you take me out this week, and I know you have the votes to do it, then next week I come back in a double eviction, and I will put up whoever you want, obviously including Brandon. So this was obviously a very tempting offer for Ryan. And obviously I can't say whether Ryan did it or not, because not only is the week not over yet, there's still the power veto competition, but I don't want to reveal too much. But it is interesting, because Ryan is safe no matter what, but if Ryan wants Brandon out, Ryan can't do it, Kat can't do it, Brazil can't do it, because they're accountants. So Ryan has to rely on the other people on his side of the house, and it's pretty clear that Curtis is on his side of the house, and there's somebody else. Okay. Oh, and Curtis, Lindsay, Nick, Megan, let's face it, they're kind of, for the most part, they're on that side. And Curtis can't rely on himself, Kat, or Brazil to do it. He has to rely on somebody else. And the mole is saying, I'm that somebody else. So if Ryan really wants Brandon out before Ryan is vulnerable again, this is an opportunity for him to do it. And because if he doesn't do it, and the wrong person gets head of household next week, like Brandon, or like anybody who's not on Ryan's side, then next week, Ryan and his alliance could be in more danger than if he were to give it up to the mole. But it really is up to Ryan to decide. And this leads me to my next point, and now I'm running long, which is this week, it wasn't supposed to be this way, but this week has more so turned into who's the mole, which they kind of know, and do we want to get them out, or do we want to leave them in the game? If the mole does not get evicted, the mole is automatically evicted and the 2 nominees stay. So essentially this week, either the mole is going to be evicted or they're not. So everybody in the house, for the most part, feels really, really safe, because they know they're not the mole and they're going to stay no matter what. But, so it is kind of a low-risk week, but it is interesting to see how the dynamics of the game change with the mole still in play week 5. And last but not least, before I finally get to the rules of the comp, Ryan did win, not just Boardwalk and Park Place, but Ryan did win a special, a special bonus prize. That bonus prize that Ryan won will be revealed on Tuesday's episode. And the winner of this Golden Power Veto competition, since the stakes are kind of low and I want people to play hard, the winner of this Power Veto competition will also win a bonus prize. This one will be revealed on Wednesday's episode. Okay. Oh, and we are playing the Power Veto competition Sunday at noon. That was the time that was agreed on. So Sunday's episode will be late, like later on Sunday, just so you know, because I obviously have to produce it. Yeah, and we are doing, for the first time ever, the house guests have agreed to do the Power Veto competition on live video chat. I'm going to try using Zoom. Zoom has a 40-minute limit. If we get close to 40 minutes and I have to stop, I'll stop and we'll restart. So all the house guests playing in the Veto, actually everybody, because if you want to watch, send me your email. All the house guests, please send me your email in tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow at 12. I'll probably do it at 11:30 just so that we get started on time. I'll send you all the invite into the Zoom chat, and once the chat begins, we will start the competition. So, the Golden Power Veto competition, and the reason why The video chat thing, I'm not a huge fan of because obviously Big Brother Cheesecake is supposed to be online and the group chat, blah, blah, blah. But this competition, when I practiced it, the only way to make it fun, exciting, and fair is if it's live. So for the first time, it's not something that I'm always going to do, and so don't get super excited because it could go really wrong again. But it is something new. So the Golden Power Veto competition is called the Big Brother Wheel of Misfortune. And here's how it works. And wow, that lighting is shit. Well, tomorrow, I'm going to have the wheel here tomorrow. The reason why I'm not doing it now is because when the wheel is close to the camera, it screws up the sync, the audio sync. So for now, it's here, but you know what? I just have to do it. Oh, I hope this doesn't screw up the audio. Okay, very simple. Wheel of Misfortune is basically Wheel of Fortune, played in 4 rounds. Fun fact, CJ appeared on Wheel of Fortune in the 90s, and I'm still trying to dig up the episode on YouTube or on Game Show Channel, but it's so difficult because there's hundreds of Wheel of Fortune episodes. She landed on the $10,000 wedge, picked it up, didn't know the puzzle, and then landed on a bankrupt. And to this day, CJ still wonders how much alcohol she could have bought with that $10,000. But you know what would have been funny if CJ had like booze, and then she went over the railing on Wheel of Fortune, and then was like on the wheel, and then the wheel was spinning, and she's on it going, "Woo! I'm taking it!" Anyway, so yeah. There's going to be a toss-up, which is going to be a simple puzzle. Whoever gets it first gets to go first. And we're going in alphabetical order. Sorry if I'm talking fast, but I'm behind. Ashley, the order alphabetically would be Ashley, Brandon, Brenda, Lindsay, Marcin, Ryan. Right? Yes. So whoever wins the toss-up goes first, and then we go in alphabetical order. There's 4 rounds. Whoever has the most amount of money at the end of 4 rounds is the winner. You only get to keep the money in each round if you solve the puzzle. So only 4 house guests are going to win money. So yeah, so what's going to happen, you're going to have a puzzle, like in Hangman. So, you've seen Wheel of Fortune at this point. There's going to be a puzzle with a category. The house guests will spin the wheel. I'm not going to actually spin it because I don't want the voice to screw up. And if you land on a dollar amount, you can call a letter T. And I love how in Wheel of Fortune, the southern people, when they say N, they go, N! I'm like, what? What? Yeah, so if there's a T, you get, let's say there's 2 T's in the puzzle, I'll show the 2 T's, and you'll have $900 because each consonant is worth $450. Just like in Wheel of Fortune, you spin the wheel, call a consonant, you get the money for each one. You can buy a vowel, vowels are worth $250, and once you know the puzzle you can solve, if you solve the puzzle, you and only you get to keep the money in that round. If you solve the puzzle and you solve with less than $1,000, I bump you up to $1,000. That's the house minimum in each round. The reason why it's called Wheel of Misfortune is because there's 7 bankrupts on the wheel. So bankrupt is going to happen more often here than it would on the show. And on the show there's only 2 plus the one with the $1 million wedge. So here there's 7. A couple of things. So Express. If you land on Express, you have the option, if you can call a letter, so first you call a letter and get it right, to get on the Express train. You keep calling consonants, you get $1,000 for each consonant. You can buy vowels along the way, but if you miss any letter, it's a super bankrupt. What does a super bankrupt mean? It means you are eliminated from the entire competition. Game over entirely, regardless of how much money you have. So if you're going to play Express, if you land on it, you better be confident. There is a free play somewhere. Express. Free play means you can call a vowel and you can get it free of charge, or you can call a consonant if you don't want to, and you get $500 for each consonant, so there you have bankrupt. And of course, that's the big one, $2,500, which that will change in each round. So yeah. That's it. I don't think there's anything else. If you have any questions, ask. It's relatively simple. 4 rounds. Whoever has the most money at the end of the 4 rounds wins. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So, with that said, who will win the Golden Power Veto in the Big Brother Wheel of Misfortune Power Veto competition? Find out tomorrow. And Monday, will they use it to save Brenda or Marcin from the chopping block? Find out in the Golden Power Veto ceremony on Monday. Tuesday, the final 2 nominees plead their case. We find out what Ryan's bonus prize is. And Wednesday, we'll find out our Veto winners' prizes, and its next live eviction and head of household competition, where we will finally find out the identity of the pool. I'm Andrew Chef Moonves. Take care. We leave you as we eavesdrop on the house guests. Good night.